you have seen me work and coach, mentor people. So what's your take on, my approach to coaching that you have seen for the like 15 years we have worked together and you know me?
So basically, I'll tell you something very personal, anecdotal. When we started SellerWorks, okay, I was absolutely novice at operations. Okay, I can figure out, okay, how do I improve the operations? How do I, what are the numbers, etc., etc. But I never implemented operations. So you are the first person to actually introduce me to operations where the tire meets or the rubber meets the road, right? That is very, very crucial. Now, this without losing sight of the business dynamics is extremely issuable. So for example, when I started in SellerWorks, actually I struggled a lot for 6 to 7 months, right? Because I had a different mindset, whereas the business had needed something else. At the same time, the type of operations which I was doing, right, was very, very direct. Which means if there is a fire, I will put myself into the fire and try to solve it. That is something which you actually changed. You told me a couple of things. One, and the most important thing is delegation. It's like, why do you want to do this? Okay. Now, delegation is a very, very powerful concept. Why? Because if you delegate, you are trusting your team. A, if you are delegating, then you are also finding out the failure modes of your team, which means you also have to improve the hiring processes, because if you get the wrong people and if you are solving all the problems yourself, then your team is not doing a lot. Which means so your entire overall process you have to change if you start delegating, right? That is point number one. So that is something which I learned from you. Second, which I learned from you is called DILO, day in life of, which I still do not only for me, but for my team members. Okay. DILO basically, again, related to delegation, I was very busy, but things were not happening. Now there is a fundamental issue. If a manager is busy and the things are not happening, this is a fundamental issue. So you taught me DILO, saying that, okay, how do I identify a day in life of yours? And then how do you identify what you can automate, what you can delegate, what you can scrap from your, processes, and how do you basically do this on a monthly, quarterly, or a weekly basis, so that, you are always efficient and improving. And this DILO has to be done also for your team members and not for you. This is also kind of coaching, right? So which basically whenever I'm doing dialogue with my team, I'm
Okay.
actually coaching them, right? But at the same time, as an ops head or an ops manager, I will have a limited resource of knowledge. Most of my knowledge will come from problems. These problems are either the escalations from customers or from the business, right? If someone else has to come and give me a perspective, what are the different kind of problems, or how do you solve these kind of problems differently, right? So that is where the external coaching will come into play. So these are the two most important things which I learned from you.